Heavy rain poured down across the city. On a busy roadside, an elderly vegetable vendor had been standing for hours. Only a few vegetables were left in his basket. Even though he was completely soaked, he looked at every passerby with hope, praying that someone would buy the last of his vegetables. But people kept walking past without even noticing him. An empty stomach, a body drenched by the rain, and just one small hope. Maybe the next person will stop and help me. At that very moment, a luxury black car pulled over near the roadside. The man who stepped out was Rajesh, one of the city's most successful businessmen. Dressed in an expensive suit and holding a stylish umbrella, he walked with confidence. For him, it was just another ordinary evening. He had no idea that the decision he was about to make would change his life forever.
The elderly man gathered his courage and walked toward Rajesh. With folded hands, he said softly, "Sir, please buy these last few vegetables. I haven't sold enough today, and there's no food waiting for me at home." His voice was weak, but his hope was still alive. For him, this wasn't just about selling vegetables. It was about surviving another day.
Rajesh looked at the old man for a moment. Instead of showing kindness, he frowned. "I don't have time for this," he said coldly. Without another word, he turned around, got back into his car, and drove away. The old man stood silently in the rain, watching the car disappear into the distance. Sometimes a few words can hurt more than anything else. Just a few minutes later, an auto rickshaw stopped beside the old man. The driver, Mohan, noticed the old vendor shivering in the rain. Without asking any questions, he smiled warmly and bought every vegetable left in the basket. For Mohan, helping someone in need was never a burden. It was simply the right thing to do. But Mohan didn't stop there. He walked to a nearby food stall, bought a hot meal and a cup of tea, and gently handed them to the old man. Tears filled the old man's eyes. "My son, may God bless you always," he whispered. Mohan smiled and replied, "We are here to help one another. Please eat while food is still warm." Months passed. Life slowly began to change. Rajesh's successful business started falling apart. One loss followed another. The office that was once filled with employees had become quiet and empty. For the first time in his life, Rajesh realized that money alone could not protect him from fate. The people who once called themselves his friends slowly disappeared. Business partners stopped answering his calls. Doors that had always been open were now closed. Rajesh finally understood how lonely success could become when it wasn't built with kindness and respect. With no other choice, Rajesh prepared his resume and applied for a job. As he sat nervously outside the interview room, he wondered if anyone would give him another chance. He never imagined that destiny had already written a very different ending to his story. With no other choice, Rajesh prepared his resume and applied for a job. As he sat nervously outside the interview room, he wondered if anyone would give him another chance. He never imagined that destiny had already written a very different ending to his story. Rajesh lowered his head in shame. He expected anger. He expected revenge. Instead, Mohan stood up, smiled warmly, and offered him a handshake. "I believe everyone deserves a second chance," Mohan said. That single act of forgiveness changed Rajesh more than any punishment ever could. From that day forward, Rajesh became a different man. He began helping those in need, treating every person with kindness and respect, because he finally understood one simple truth: what we give to the world always finds its way back to us. Good deeds may not be rewarded immediately, But kindness is never wasted. Remember, karma never forgets.